Good evening. It's the KCJC Sports Talk on Brosis YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ken Connell, and my co-host is
John J.C. Campbell, live and direct from Kingston, Jamaica.
So, John, what's buzzing in sports this week?
You know, sports is always buzzing. But, I have to start with Jamaica football again. I don't know, there seems to be, quote unquote, some kind of dopey on our backs or something. Must be. Because here we are, we have a nice tour lined up in Japan. When we got there, half the side were refused entry because of the COVID-19 improper testing for COVID-19. The English guys could make it, so they had to cancel that game. But I gather the rest of the tour is on. But that I don't understand. What's the blunder? Maybe you can wave your magic wand or something. Amazing.
Well, I think that what needs to happen each time, they need to make sure they're very clear on the protocols so that, this thing can run smooth. It seems as if we're just taking things for granted and we're not doing a check to ensure that we're abiding by the protocol, not just for your country, but for boarding the aircraft and for the landing country.
In all fairness, they say they weren't briefed on the exact requirements of the testing. They weren't briefed. So it's not entirely their fault, but you can't help but believing that there's some kind of curse. I understand. But we shall overcome, right? We shall overcome.
Yes,
we move forward. What else is going on? Tell me about Naomi Osaka, man.
We spoke about Naomi Osaka last week, and after 4 days in round one of the championship, she withdrew. As a matter of fact, she had played wrong. She had played round one, her first match. And what happened is that she was fined $15,000, and there were also threats from other Grand Slam, like the Australian Open and the US Open and also Wimbledon, that they were going to group together and they were going to think about suspending her. So she thought that the best thing to do was to withdraw from the competition period. So she withdrew herself from the competition, and that this is all about her concern about her mental health.
Well, we did talk about that though in earlier programs about the importance of psychological health.
Exactly.
We spoke about these things already.
And the ESPN report is saying the ESPN report is also backing up what we said last week when we mentioned that maybe it's a good time for her to bring things like those to the table because she has never won the French Open. She doesn't do very well on grass court and she doesn't do very well on clay court. And at the French Open, it's clay court. So she decided to just take a break, but she can afford to do that. This is a young lady who earned $50 million last year. She is said to be the biggest earner as a female last year when we had COVID, on the peak of COVID. And also she purchased a mansion in Beverly Hills for $7 million.
These people are rich. I don't think money is an issue, has ever been an issue. I think what is the issue here is the issue of morals and what is right and what is wrong in terms of how you treat the athlete. So that is. But what I like though is that Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Also, ESPN is saying that it's the right time to do it also because she has to defend her Australian Open. And also remember that the Olympics is going to be held in Tokyo, Japan, where she's from. You know what I mean? And so they believe that she wants to take time off so that she can recuperate for all of these events. But nobody knows what time she's going to come back, if she's going to come back on time for the Australian Open or not. But, I believe that the media just need to be a little bit more sensitive as it relates to mental health. If it's bothering these athletes, then I think the athletes should have a choice whether or not they on a certain given day, they should have a choice of whether or not they're willing to speak to the media on a certain given day. They should be.
But let me add quickly though that I really appreciate the way that the other tennis stars have been coming and defending Osaka. Serena spoke quite well about Osaka as well, and she's in defense of Osaka, saying that she defends her and she's absolutely right to take the stance that she has taken. So we let us see how that turns out. I want to move on quickly though.
As we recall, John, remember that we have to think about the fact that it's a reality that like the black players are colored players are asked more difficult questions, and again, thinking about the fact that the Olympics is coming up and the Australian Open, they were going to extend the question beyond the game that she is playing right now, or beyond the tournament. So I think it's good for the to be a little bit more, what would say, a little bit more sympathetic about the situation, and we can move on from there. Let's go.
Well, let us see how it goes. There's one other thing I want to touch on quickly before we move on to more interesting things. I came across information recently. It was on the news about the football league in your country of residence, the NFL. I am here now. Here, that in the NFL, head injuries are common. The National Football League, concussion is common. Well, some of these fellows, in the long term, they end up suffering all kind of neurological disorders, dementia, Parkinson's disease, all kind of strange disorders because of repeated hits to the head. Now, a lot of them are given compensation for such injuries. Now we are hearing, and this is where racism, what we call systemic racism in the United States is much deeper than we realize. We're now hearing that we're now hearing that these black players are sometimes compensated with less money as compared to their white counterparts. And why so? The belief is that the black brain is not as, in terms of cognition, it's not as active as compared to the Caucasian white folks. In other words, the cognitive function of the black brain is less than the white counterpart. So therefore, in other words, there's not much going on there in first place. So don't give them much money to compensate them. Can you believe that? That is happy to say though that they're trying to get rid of that policy that they had. They had that policy. I don't understand how you say you're in the States and you allow that to happen, Ken. I don't understand. This is a serious thing.
When I heard the report also, and when I hear reports like those, it only makes me angry. For somebody who is obsessed and have a passion for all type of sports, it just kind of make me angry. But I know it's reality, and each time we're confronted with these situations, we just got to find a way to move beyond that. Don't push it under the carpet. We have to find a way to move beyond it by getting a resolution that is going to benefit each party, and that's going to be, bring about some level of equality within the sport.
Yeah. Well, thank heavens they have pulled it out of the closet and it's being worked on. So let us see if we can move on from there. But what a thing, the cognitive function of the black guy is less than the white guy. So give him less money. Oh, jeez. All right.
We know that's not true, but that it has always been perceived that way. So it's not surprising to me at all.
Amazing. All right. Yes. I gather we have some guests in our studios tonight.
Yes, and we are very much privileged to have these young ladies with us. I just want to go ahead and
go.
Go ahead.
This is the winning throw right here now, Bruce. My brain. Spencer. Yeah, a bit of a surprise. Leonie Samuels didn't come into this final like one of the gold medal favorites. But it's the nature of championship. You show up on the day and you beat people on the day. You know.
Girls, 100 meters final, the record 51.13 by a trans legend, Sanita Sutherland in 2006. Down the back stretch now, middle of the pack, Robinson from Great Technical, ranging up ominously from Brosis as well. In there with a loud shout at the moment, the Western champion, Alia Francis, and having some running and catching up to do just at this stage. Taylor from Homo the Technical, but on the outside as well, Joan Reed, the experienced campaigner. Look at the pack now. Alia Francis of Brosis will take them off the curve and into the home stretch. She's looking good. Gabrielle White, the Heidel captain, comes calling now. The rest are battling for a minor share. Francis looks good. White coming fast, but she won't be fast enough on the day. The gold medal for the Western champion, Alia Francis. From Brosis, Gabrielle White. The 400 hurdles open, gold medalist settles for the silver.
Okay.
300 meter flat. The record 11:27 set by Tina Creighton in 2019. Two from Diego. Sent about their business. Fabulous start by somebody Hazel. Williams from Brosis has some catching up to do. Now she hits top end speed. Changes gear, and Williams goes away for the gold. Ahead of Heidel's Shimony Hazel. First in the prelim, first in the semi, and now first in the final, landing the gold medal from Brosis High School. Nathaniel Williams. 100 meters final in 12.18 seconds. We just got to the Bruce. Sharon Simpson gets the transfer.
Thank you.
Hey, Sharon.
That was a good start from the header.
Negative 2.4. Go ahead, Sharon.
That was a good start from the header. Really had a good storm, but look at Williams now coming through. She said, listen, I'm here to win. And look at her knee lift. That was so good. And she took the mind and she won. That was so good.
Ladies and gentlemen, viewers and subscribers, why won't you help me welcome to our forum Leonie Samuels, national champion, Issa boys and girls national champion, class 1 shot put. Also, Leah Francis, double sprint champion, class 1 girl 200 meters and class 1 girls 400 meters. And last but not least, Lavania Williams, class 3 girls sprint double champion, 100 meters and 200 meters. Ladies, welcome to the Brosis Forum.
Yes.
Now, first of all,
Thank you.
I want you guys to each tell us about your journey to Brosis High School. Lavania, you're the captain, so we're gonna, I'm sorry, Leonie, you're the captain, so we're gonna start with you, of course. Tell us about your journey to Brosis High School.
Pardon?
Can you tell us about your journey to Brosis High School?
Well, my journey to Brosis was okay, I guess. Had a lot of ups and downs, but it's okay.
Okay, so what school are you coming from to Brosis?
I'm coming from the Albion Primary and Junior High School in Montego Bay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your journey to Brosis High School, Aliyah.
Well, at first I was supposed to be at Brosis in grade 9 in 2016, but because of my parents, I didn't go. So Coach Miles came to my house in 2019 and recruited me again, come to Brosis and join the track team.
Okay, and we want our viewers and listeners to know that Aliyah is coming to us all the way from Darliston in Westmoreland. Okay, Lavanya, we're ready for you. Tell us about your brief journey to Rossi's High School.
To be honest, when I started my track and field career, it was in primary school. I went to primary champs. Then at my final year in grade 6, I went to Belmont Academy. And then a coach came to me and asked me that if I wanted to make a national team. So I told him yes. So he told me that we're gonna have a NACA under 15 championship in El Salvador. So if I want to train to make the team. So I told him yes. So I went to training at Rossi's while I was at Belmont. And I worked with Mr. Miles and I went to trials and I made the team. So that was my journey. So I transferred to Rossi's.
Good. All right. John, do you have a question you want to ask?
Well, I'm just so excited to be speaking to future champions. You know, you can say I know them, and I know them when you start to go on like what's the name again? Shelly, I don't know. So I know them. I talk to them first. But anyway, I over the past couple of months it has been quite a challenge in terms of COVID-19 issues, training on, training off, champs on, champs off, that kind of thing. One by one, can you just share me what were some of the key challenges that you faced in your training, in your preparation for champs? We could start with Alia, since let's start with Alia and hear what she's saying. What are something that the challenges that you had in just trying to train during the COVID-19 issues and so on?
Some challenges I had was transportation, because I live far from Rossi's, so I had to travel back and forth to and from Rossi's in training time and to reach home within the curfew hours. So training times were a little less, and because of the COVID and the social distancing, we had less access to the gym, so we didn't get much gym at the time.
Wow, amazingly. So how did you overcome those challenges? Transportation, the access to the gym. How did you overcome?
So for the
you had to travel. So how did you?
Yeah, I had to travel, but I found somewhere that was closer to the school, so where I could stay. And then I trained and did my training there. And for the gym, coach kind of find some way around it.
Okay.
Sure did.
Okay, awesome. And what about Lavanya? What about the same question to you, Lavanya? How did you, what were the challenges you faced, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Because when coronavirus just came to Jamaica, and we had to stop training, and I got fat. I lose body muscle and lose fitness. So it was very hard to come back. But the trust of my coach, I do believe in him. So I know I could come back, but not fully for champs. But I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, but transportation wasn't a problem for you then?
Not really.
Okay. Not really. Well, let us hear Leonie. What is your take on this, Leonie? Class one shot put champion of Jamaica. Mind you. Not Rossino, Jamaica, mind you. All right, go ahead, Leonie.
Well, as Ali has stated about the gym, and I'm a shot putter and I need to do the gym almost every day. The gym was the biggest problem, yes. The biggest challenge, and as she said, coach found ways to go around it, and yes, that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Okay, great. And you had no transportation issue?
No.
Okay, great.
So I think Lavanya, you're from Dias, right?
Not really. I'm from Rock Spring, Hanover.
Okay.
But because of training purpose, I stayed in Dias with my auntie, so I could go so I could go to training more easier.
Okay, good. All right. So I want to ask you guys, because there is something else I have to mention. When you think about you guys' accomplishment, that was your first time at Champs, right, Leonie?
No, second. Second.
Second, okay, good. But nobody expected you to win at Champs. But you go in like a true captain and set the tone for the rest of the team. Okay, I just want to find out from you, after winning on Wednesday, which was the second day of Champs, what did you say to the rest of the team?
Well, I went around to them one by one and I told them, I just wish them luck. I told them to go out there, do their best and enjoy themselves.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Aliyah, we didn't spill all the beans about you. We didn't say what we could say about you. So, but I want to mention now that this lady, Aliyah Francis, that is sitting in front of us, viewers and listeners, is ranked number 9 in the world in the 400 meter under 20. She's ranked I'm repeating that, she's ranked number 9 in the world. Okay, so this is her accomplishment. I want to find out from you guys, all three of you, do you guys really understand the magnitude of your accomplishment? Do you really start to let it sink in about how far you have gone and how much you have achieved in the sport? Go ahead, Leonie.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Pardon?
I'm saying your achievement or your accomplishment so far in the sport, have it sunk in and tell me how it feels to be a champion.
Well, at first, when I realized that I am the winner of the champion, I didn't really feel excited or anything. It was just a okay moment for me until people kept on telling me congrats, and I was like, but they can't talk to me now. And it just singing, I start feeling excited, and yeah.
Look at me, no.
What about you, Aliyah?
Well, at first at Champs it was really pressuring because everyone was expecting like I was one of the favorites. So it's my first time at Champs, and being someone had so much expectations for me. So it was really pressuring. So after Champs, I felt kind of relieved and excited too, because first time winning Champs. So
let me jump in quickly, because you mentioned something that has been we've been talking about these things over the past couple of weeks, and so you mentioned about pressuring, about the stress of trying to compete at that level at Champs and so on. You just mentioned a while ago as you were listening about Osaka, the tennis player, coming under a lot of psychological pressure, where she had to take herself out of a championship. But let me ask you this: how did you deal effectively with this psychological pressure? Because we all come under pressure. What were some of the strategies? What are some of the things that you did to help to put yourself at ease?
Well, for one, it's always the motivational speech from my coach days before the race and the day on the race. And like before I start warm up, I like listen to some music that builds confidence, because I'm always nervous.
What kind of music? We want to know what kind of music.
Hip hop, rap, some dancehall,
whatever.
That kind of helps. But after, when I'm in the race, all that nervousness is gone.
It's gone. Yeah, that's a true athlete. I want to jump in again with a quick question, because I don't want to forget this. So you were trained at Rossi. You have been trained at Rossi's, eh? If you had the wherewithal to change situations at Rossi's, what are some of the improvements that you'd like to see done there that would create for a better training experience for you? What would, if you could change things at Brosis in terms of the training facilities, training systems, what would you change if you could change it? What would you change or add or whatever?
Well, for me, I would change the track. I think because of the weather conditions, the track is a little bit bumpy in some parts, so it can cause like injuries onto the athletes. And for the gym equipment too can be improved.
Right. The gym equipment is one thing. Let me hear from the other ladies. Go ahead, Ivania, is it? Yeah.
It's the same for me.
Yeah.
It's the same for me because the track injured our outstanding athlete Ryan Scott.
Oh.
So yes, it's the track for us.
Yeah. And Leonie?
It's the gym for me. Some improvement can be done today.
Because you're a poor athlete. You're a poor athlete.
The gym mostly.
Okay. And what about accommodation, like living accommodation, stuff like that? That is not a problem for you, really. Housing, accommodation, stuff like that.
Not really.
Not really. All right, great. All right.
You guys, I spoke to your coach on many occasions, and one thing I noticed is that you guys are a duplicate copy of the coach. You guys are so calm, so confident. I watched your race earlier, and like I said before, I'm one of them track and field junkies. And I watch everything that's track and field, and I study track and field, and I coach track and field. And when I look at you in your 400 meter, especially, the 400 meter was well planned and ran. Like we talked about it already, where the great 400 meter coach mentioned that a 400 meter race is supposed to be run with the 4 P's, which is push, pace, power, and prayer. But you didn't seem to deal with the prayer part of it at all. You wasn't praying. You was coming in, all maintaining your form, your knees up, your arms pumping. How did you guys get to be so mature as a junior athlete? I guess I'm actually answering the question myself because I answered it already. It got to be coming from your coach. You guys you don't look like junior athletes. You look like a senior athlete who been in the business many years. When you look at it, the way you plan the race, because the 400 meter race got to be very strategic. You got to know that when you get on the back stretch, you got to make sure that you stay relaxed and everything was right in place. You know when to go into the overdrive. Like you're running up the hill. When you get around the 200 meter curve, everything was planned and was executed almost to perfection. Your 200 meter was much more like that. I watched you as you slingshot the curve and made sure that you were leading when you came off the curve. Those things, they're so hard to teach at your age level. So the coach is doing a tremendous job despite all the resources that's lacking that you guys mentioned. Okay, so we get to talk to the great Lavanya Williams. What's that, 13, 14-year-old? Wow. And Shelly and Fraser Price mentioned you about your technique. Glenn Mills mentioned your technique. And Sharon Simpson spoke about your technique. We actually played it just before we introduced you guys. Tell me about how an athlete, 13, 14-year-old, can run so mature. You actually started off the race. It wasn't a very good start for you, I would say. It was an ordinary start, but you maintained and you stayed patient and you accelerated or you transitioned, and then you were able to win convincingly in 100 meters. How were you able to maintain that level of calm as a junior athlete?
To be honest, it's your mind focus. You have to have your mind in the game, and for training so hard during the pandemic, I wouldn't see myself going out there coming second or third or last. I always trying to make myself win. Yeah, so I had it.
So the other ladies go on to higher places, but now everybody knows about Lavanya Williams. Now you have a target in your back. How do you plan to deal with this next year at Champs? Or I shouldn't say next year at Champs. How do you plan to deal with it? Because you guys are training right now for junior competitions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you plan to deal with it? Because right now everybody knows about Lavanya Williams, and not just in Jamaica, but around the world they know about Lavanya Williams. So how do you plan to deal with this? And let's say, especially at Champs, now that you have a target in your back.
Just go out there, focus, and just do your best. That's the key. Just focus, make sure that your mind is in what you're doing. And you just go out there and just execute and do your best.
Good.
You know, I want to ask again. The Champs, mind you, Champs was a little bit different this year because we didn't have a lot of we didn't have any spectators really. It's just you know, just a few here and there. But certainly there were other athletes around and who you were from other schools who you had to mix with and talk to and so on. What was the response like from these other athletes after you would have won a 100 meter, you'd have won the 2, you'd have won the 4, you'd have won the shot put? What was the response? How do you feel the other athletes from the other schools responded to you? We could start with Leonie.
Well,
How did you interact with them? How did they respond to you now that you're a champion, you know?
there wasn't really any response that I can say.
Okay.
But just normal, like a regular track meet.
No one came to congratulate you or say, yeah, I want to come to Rossi's, you know, or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Alia, anything from your side?
Well, all the athletes that were that I know that were competing with me, most of them were my friends.
Oh,
So they after
interesting. Are you from other schools?
Yeah.
Is that so? That's interesting. And
Yes.
and let me hear from you again. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, after the race they told me like good run, etc. And it was just, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. Yeah. Because let me just jump in again right away. So during the boys' champs side of things, there was an incident. I want to get your feedback from this. Think about it carefully before you answer. There was an incident where a fellow athlete who won, I think, 100-meter race, having won the race, he pulled out his irons and bush shot here and reload and bush shot again and so on. I just want to get your feedback on something like that.
That's Antonio
Watson. Do you think it has a place? What do you think? You know?
That's Antonio Watson from Petersfield.
Right. That's him. That's his field. I didn't call on him. It's not me calling on him, right?
Well, we can call it because everybody knows about it.
All right. Well, let me hear. Let's start with class 3. Leonie Williams. Let me hear because you have the argument, you know. So let's hear what you have to say. What do you think about that? Be honest.
At first, it was like nothing because he's the one that put vibes on the media with champs because there were no spectators. So it was nothing to me, to be honest. I take it for fun.
At the time?
Yes. No, right now. At this point, I still take it for fun.
Okay. All right. Alia, what do you have to say about it?
I think it's just entertainment.
Entertainment. Okay. Yeah. Captain, what do you have to say about that?
As Alia and Robert and Lavanya said, it's just for entertainment. I don't see anything wrong with it, as there wasn't any spectators in the stadium. So that just light up the place, as you could see.
But you know,
Lighting up.
but you know what was in the stadium though? Cameras, international cameras.
I don't think he meant it in any way. He was just celebrating his
I
agree with you.
I think so too. But I'm sure you would have heard of the impact and the repercussions after he did all of that. And he apologized. He apologized in the end. And so something big came about, and the social media was a buzz with with commentary and all kind of things, and who was right and who was wrong and all these things. But yeah, there's some of the things that you'll come across, and I thought I would want to ask you.
Just to make it clear that this was done before with other teams and other athletes. It's just people think that it was poor taste because Jamaica is facing so much crime and violence. But just like the athlete said, all three ladies said, it was just entertainment. You know, this is the same guy who in the semifinals he was pretending like he was driving a car. You know, and these things bring about a little bit of life when there is no spectator. You know, I go to champs every year, so I know what it's like at champs, and people forget that this form of entertainment might have helped somewhat the entertainment that we're used to seeing at champs because there were no spectators. You know, but and then they look at the bad side of it and don't look at the good side of it. And this is what I like about the athletes from Brosis High School, the athletes that we're now interviewing. They're very smart and they're able to think beyond, you know, the worth of something. Because I do see it as entertainment, but I do understand the people who object to it. I do understand where they're coming from too. But they forget that there was no crowd at champs, like you guys said, and this was just a mere form of entertainment.
Yeah, but other people would say to you though, that is also an indication of some of the ominous things of our culture, of our society, and that ought not to be reflected, particularly by a school youth, you know. So people would argue that as well. But let me just pause to read some of the feedback so far. People have been watching us, and we have from Troy Malcolm. Troy Malcolm is the president of this organization, the organization that is facilitating this this exchange. He's saying, "Good evening, ladies. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. You have made us proud. You ladies rock. So proud of you." One more. Yes, so good to have you on the forum, ladies. Best wishes to you. Another one here. Congratulate from somebody by the name of Gacha. I'm not too sure if I pronounce it right, but congratulations, Alia, Leonie, and Lavanya. The world awaits you. The world awaits some new world record. You represented very well for your parents, the institution, the team, and yourselves. Thank you, girl power. So those are some of the feedback. One more, Dawn Dawes says, congratulations, ladies. Job well done. All right. Yes, Ken, over to you again. You're saying something here?
Yes, I know each of you must have a feel-good story as it relates to Brosis High School. So what would you consider to be your greatest or most satisfying moment at Brosis High School?
So far. All right, let's start with Alia.
Start with Leonie. Leonie, no allowed to pick on her. Leonie, let's go with you first.
All right, go ahead.
The most satisfying moment is now, to be honest, what happened at Champs. Because since I started track and field a little late, and I had to go through so much emotionally and such because of my personality. And then I just went out there and I did what I had to do. And I didn't think I was going to win, and it happened. So That is the most memorable moment for me.
Okay, what about you, Lavanya?
My most satisfying moment at Rossi's was when I made the NACA under 15 team to go to El Salvador. That was my most satisfying moment at Rossi's.
Absolutely.
Ali, over to you.
Well, my most satisfying moment would be when I ran character trials last year. When I ran my first 62.98, it was so shocking because I was only trained for like 7 months because I just transferred to Rossi's, and it was my first time ever, first year ever doing 400, and to run such a fast time. I was really proud of myself, and I knew that improve and run a better time, which I did this year.
Okay, interesting.
So I just want to ask, is all three of you currently training for the World Junior Trials? All three of you are just Aliyah and Lavanya?
Just Ali and Lavanya.
Oh, okay, good. So I just wanted to ask you guys that I wanted our listeners to know that you guys are in training for that purpose. Okay, so I'm going to allow John. John, do you have some more questions for them?
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious. You know, I'm always curious about certain things. For instance, I just want to know, for instance, so how do you see yourself in the future? Your plans, your goals, your aspirations. What do you think the future holds for you? What would you want it? How would you want it to unfold? Your future. Right now, we could classify you as track and field stars in the making. I'll make it get to your head. But anyway, track and field stars in the making. How do you see yourself as your life unfolds? Where do you envision? Where do you see yourself heading to in terms of a profession and so on? Is it going to be a professional athlete, or do you think you might venture into other areas? And again, we can start with Captain.
Well, for me, I'm
Captain. Go ahead.
For me, it's not. I do love this sport, but I don't have so much love for it. So I don't think I'll be going into the pro thing.
Yes.
I'm going to be going into something else.
But you know that things like scholarships and so on.
I have those stories, John. I'll tell you about those stories later on.
You know that things like scholarships and so on will hover over all of that. But you're saying you're not too sure you want to venture as a professional. All right, fair enough. Let's move on. Leonie. Did I get it right? No. I mixed up the names. All right, let's go with Alia. Alia, let me hear it from your side. How do you see yourself, your thing unfolding?
Well, first, when I leave Rossi's High School, I'll be going to a university. I will still be doing track and field throughout my days at the university, and I'm hoping to graduate with a major in finance. Hopefully, I was thinking to become a financial analysis, but as I go through like track and field throughout college, I will try to decide if I would become a professional athlete.
I thought you was going to tell us that you're going to major in finance so that when you become a world champion, you can manage your money.
That too. And I'll be your advisor. Don't worry, I'll be your advisor. Don't worry. I'm sorry. Let us hear from class 3 champion. Your time. How do you see yourself unfolding? After high school, what do you think you would be doing?
Firstly, when I reach the age to be a professional athlete, I would like to be one I want to own businesses like Shelly and Fraser. She motivates me a lot. I watch her videos and she motivates me a lot, and she's a business owner, so I want to be like Shelly and Fraser when I grow up.
So she's your role model for now.
Yes,
Yeah,
she's my role model.
Yeah, Lavanya.
That's great.
Lavanya, you just said something that I actually discussed with your coach. You know, even in the coaching rank, there are many coaches who don't like to watch videos because they want to take all the credit that comes from the development of their athlete. You know, it's very strange to me that you as an athlete is saying that you view a lot of Shelly and Fraser video, because a lot of athletes don't do that. They just depend on the training that they receive. No wonder you are so polished as it relates to executing through all the various phases in the 100 meter. No wonder. I was impressed, and I mean everybody who watched you was totally impressed. You know, no one can actually believe that an athlete who is so young can execute so well. You know what I mean? And what is more surprising, like I said before, is the fact that you weren't rattled. You didn't get a perfect start. You still patiently went through your phases and come out the winner. So yeah, you guys have reached a milestone in your life, and now you have a chance to build a legacy. That I'm not talking about Brosis High School alone. What do you think you want your legacy to be in this world? Let's go with Aaliyah first this time. What would you want your legacy to be? It can be track and field related. It can be financial. It can be finance related.
I'm not sure.
Okay, let's go to Lavanya, because I know Lavanya is the talkative one. Let's see what Lavanya wants to say. What would you like your legacy to be, Lavanya, whether in the sport or in the career that you choose?
I'm not sure as yet. I have to think about it.
All right, we'll take that too. And Leonie, I don't expect you to say the same thing. I need an answer. Go ahead.
I'm not sure.
All right.
I'm not sure either.
Okay, so
whatever it's going to be, though, do ensure that it's going to be something positive that the others who follow after you, who come after you, can so emulate, as you are doing with Shelly Ann, for instance. You are looking at Shelly Ann and you are trying to emulate it and trying to move in the way she moved to where she's at now. So, you know, let whatever legacy is left behind something positive, something that can actually stimulate others towards positive behavior and so on. Let it be something that not just Brosis people, but in the entire island. Because believe it or not, you are now among the top whatever percentages of athletes in the Jamaica. We could expand that to say in the region, because if you're good in Jamaica, chances are you're good across the entire Caribbean region. You know, so whatever you do, young ladies, I'm going to encourage you to think positively, move positively, and act positively in terms, because others will always be looking at you, always be looking at Lavanya, always be looking at Alia, always be looking at Leon. So what are they doing now? You know, and they'll want to look at you and emulate you, just as you are doing with others who went on before you.
Okay,
yes.
So what do you guys think about the fact that Western Championship is now broadcast live? There's live streaming at Western Championship. And from Western Championship, I was impressed with you, Lavanya, because I want to know, you have to tell us, what did you say to the official when you actually false started in that race that convinced him to reinstate you back into the race? Because, you know, how does a 13, 14-year-old know that Okay, I think I'm going to get thrown out of this race, so I need to walk right up to the face of the official and say something to him. I want to know, what did you say to that official to convince him to put you back into the race?
I told him that the boys, the stats boys that was behind my blocks, as he said, as he shoot the gun, the boy behind me talk. So I told him, and he understood.
Wow, that was quick thinking on your part, though. That was very quick thinking. I told you, nothing escaped me when it comes to track and field. I see everything. Okay, this whole thing that happened in you guys' life, this excellent performance that you have displayed, these are career-defining opportunities for you guys. Now, already Leonie communicated to us that she doesn't think she want to pursue track and field. But I just want our listeners and viewers to know that Leonie is receiving a lot of offers in track and field. I don't know if she knows about it yet, but she is getting a lot of interest from colleges in the United States of America. And we can't, so this one, Lavanya is out of this. She can't talk about that yet. All right, so we can put her on pause right now. So let's talk about Aliyah. So this quiet lady that you see right here, that you're seeing on our screen, Aliyah has been given a full scholarship to Auburn University in Alabama. All right, Aliyah, I don't know what your SAT score was like. So you have to tell our listeners what your SAT score was like. Most of our listeners should by now be aware of the fact that the SAT is the assessment test that you take in order to be admitted into colleges here in America. So tell us what your score was like on the SAT.
My score was 990.
Was what?
990. 990.
990 out of a possible 1,600, right? Yes. So that was a very good score. A lot of kids here in America do not get that score. So that was outstanding. So she's going to be taking up her scholarship. And when you talk about University of, you talk about the university that you're going to be attending. I don't know if you know about the fact that Auburn University have some outstanding athletes that graduated from Auburn University. Do you know about any of them? Okay, so let me help you out on that one. So we have famous athletes like Bo Jackson. And for those of our listeners who don't know who Bo Jackson was, Bo Jackson played for the White Sox in baseball, and he also played football. He used to play for the Los Angeles Raiders. All right, and then we have Cam Newton, and Cam Newton is currently a black quarterback in the NFL. Last year he played with the New England, the New England Patriots. Okay, and we have Frank Thomas, and Frank Thomas was a professional baseball player who played for the Chicago White Sox. And last but not least, we have Charles Barkley. Everybody in Jamaica should know about Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was one of the famous basketball players. He's now a sports reporter on TNT, and he played for the 76ers, he played for the Phoenix Suns, and he played also for the Houston Rockets. So you're going to be going to a university that produces outstanding athletes. And I'm sure, based on what I see from you so far, that you're going to be an outstanding athlete, because there are a lot of upside to you. I think that your ceiling right now is very difficult to say what your ceiling is going to be, because you're so relaxed in your event. There's a lot for your coach to build on. John?
Right. One more commentary from the listener. Again, Troy Malcolm is saying, I want to say a big thank you to the coaching staff, cooks, and the faculty staff. Too often we forget to recognize the major players behind the scene, and he's right about that. The coaches, the cooks, the people who keep the engine running so that the thing can move. We need to, as they say, lift our hats off to them as well. So thank you for that, Troy. Yeah, so yes, we're winding down.
You guys have received some of the highest compliment from some of the top sport people in Jamaica. Now, tell us how does this make you guys feel? How does it make you guys feel? Let's go with you, Aliyah. How does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel really good because I've never been in such a position before. So I'm excited.
I can hardly hear you.
Your audio.
I feel good about this because it's the first time in this position, this situation. So it's a good feeling.
I think she's having a little bit of problem with her audio. So let's go to Lavanya, and then we'll go back to Aliyah after she we'll see if we can go back to Aliyah. Lavanya, how does that make you feel to be mentioned and be commended by so many top sports personnel in Jamaica?
It made my proud and my coach. So,
it seems like we're all having some audio difficulty. How about you, Leonie? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. Yes.
Right.
Hey, John?
Yes. Any last words? Yeah, kind of winding down again. Only to say that it was certainly a pleasure speaking with you. This might well have been your first major social media interview, and lots more to come. So this is like a little practice run. So you can put in your diary. This is the first one.
Who knows what the feeling might be? We know that Leonie says she won't be pursuing too much track and field. But guys, I know that Coach Miles is on watching this program, I'm sure, because he thinks so highly of you guys. So I'm almost positive he's on watching you guys. What do you guys want to say to Coach Miles? I want each of you to send a message to Coach Miles. Go ahead, Lavanya. We can't hear you.
All right, because we're having some audio difficulties.
Okay, so we're having some audio difficulties.
Right.
All right, go ahead, Ali. What would you like to say to Coach Miles?
What I'd like to say is thank you to my coach for all the time and effort that he put into coaching me, and also the team and his patience throughout this year, because it was really a rough year. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Leonie, what would you like to say to Coach Miles?
I would like to say thank you for putting in this work with me. It's been a hard year, and he's worked with me through everything, even though I'm kind of. I would just want to say thank you for everything.
Okay, great.
Lavanya, is your audio back? Let's see if your audio is back. What would you like to say to Coach Miles?
Not getting any audio.
Okay, so her audio is not back. So that's it for us, guys. But I would like to say thanks to you guys for coming on our program. We enjoy talking to you guys, and we wish you guys all the best in your endeavor. As far as I can see, the sky is the limit because you guys are not only very smart on the track, you guys are smart as it relates to academics. So I look forward to hearing great things about you guys. And the sky is the limit. That's all, folks. Good night.
Yeah. But forget the sky. Forget the sky. Reach for the stars. Yeah, well, it was nice talking to you. We hope we'll meet you live and in living color down there at Rossi's, and we all come together to celebrate at some point. Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, we want to remind our listeners to please like, share, and subscribe to the program. Until next week, goodbye from the KCJC Sports Talk on Rossi's Brosis YouTube channel.
Bon voyage. Bon voyage. All right, take care.